Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I had the opportunity to really meet most of these people 2 years ago in Stewart at the 42nd anniversary of the lunar landing and the LIM landing. And you really kind of got to understand the team that it took just to make it happen. And though the astronauts are the ones out front, and certainly the heroes, that's the ones that we all looked up to, it took a team of thousands really to make that happen. And at these events and these reunions, you get the opportunity to really see what the Grumman team was like. And it started with just scary, smart people. Scary, smart people. These people were engineers and scientists. And yeah, they had a lot of background in the Navy business, but if you look behind you at that LIM, that's pretty much a one-of-a-kind vehicle, and it was those guys. So scary, smart people, incredibly tenacious people, very dedicated. Most of those guys that were working up to that time where we built LIM, tested LIM, they were routinely working 12+ hours a day, often 7 days a week. So they had a culture of hard work, not just intelligence. So from my perspective, it's the same thing I see today. You know, I look at what we're doing in Northrop Grumman today, and it's the same type of talent. Fully dedicated, really scary, smart folks that are out there trying to solve the world's toughest issues, just like this team did so many years ago.
Thing I think of when I look and see all these people that worked in the program back when I did in the 1960s and 1970s, first thing I think of is, boy, do they look old. And that is, it's a reaction that people that have lived with it, they, back in the 1960s and 70s, we all lived with the program. We owned it. We all had one thought: if this fails, it's not going to fail because of me. All of these people had that same feeling, and now here it is, 45 years later, 44 years later today for Neil's landing, and it's just amazing to see how enthusiastic all of the people that worked back in the 60s still are about it. Here at Northrop Grumman, North American Rockwell, the astronauts, a couple of us, I refer to us as ancient astronauts now, and we still realize how fortunate we were to have lived when we did, to have participated in that program when it meant so much in those days.
Good evening. I'm Winston Scott, Space Shuttle astronaut in Denver and Columbia, and I am incredibly pleased to be here tonight for the reunion of the anniversary of the not just the lunar landing, but the incredible work that Grumman did in our space program. And like everybody else, I can remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when Neil Armstrong first took those first steps on the moon. I was finishing up my freshman year in college. I was home for the summer and sitting in front of our old black and white television watching those grainy pictures. I can also remember that I was the only person in my family to sit there and actually watch it. Nobody else, well, my folks were out, I think, and my brother was off doing something else. At that time, I never thought that I would become an astronaut. It was a program that was fascinating to me, even from the early days of the Mercury program when I was a little kid. But I think the Apollo missions, as well as all the other space missions, inspired something down inside of me, because quite a few years later, because quite a few years later, during my Navy career, I decided to apply for the program, the space program that is, and fortunately, I was selected. I don't think that would have happened had it not been for the incredible work done by all of our scientists and engineers at Grumman and other companies, and the incredible vision set forth for this country by President Kennedy at the time. It was so exciting watching that Saturn V blast off and then following the happenings over the next few days, and then the ultimate landing on the moon. Just an amazing accomplishment, even by today's standards. So again, I'm very happy to be here. Every time I'm around Kennedy Space Center and around the equipment and the people that make it happen, I feel so very privileged for the amazing amount of good fortune that I've had to be a part of something like that. So my hat's off to all the Grumman folks, hats off to all the engineers and scientists for other companies that supported our program too. And I just say to others, let's go forward, let's keep America strong, let's keep us #1 in space.
By that time, the atmosphere was really electric. We all felt it at that particular time. We finally reached the final seconds of the count, and it went like this. Coming up with a 15-second mark. T-minus 15 and counting. T-minus 15, guidance internal. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All engines running. Commit liftoff. We have liftoff of Apollo 11 at 9:32 a.m.